We're now on the second scheduled away trip of the year, and we're at the fabulous Cherry Mere on the Cherry Lakes complex. Thank you for joining me on the Journeyman's Tales. As is always the case, preparation for a trip begins at home. In this case, I started off with 2 kilos of the Probate UK squid and orange and a kilo of my own homemade specials, defrosted them and then ground them up in the Ridge Monkey crusher. The resulting crumb and crushed boilies are left to dry for a few days to get rid of some of the moisture. Then I slowly add some oils a little bit at a time over a few hours, slowly infusing the oil into the bait, taking my time with it so you don't end up with a big gloopy sticky mess. You just end up with a nice crumb that will crush together if you squeeze it, but easily falls apart. Whilst I'm doing that, I take a couple of kilos of the CC More squid pellets, and in the same manner I add the mainline IB syrup to it. Again, a little bit at a time, leave it to work its way into the pellets, keep stirring it up so you don't end up with a sticky mess, and eventually you get a nice 3/4 of a bottle absorbed into the 2 kilos. As before, added to that is a few kilos of one of the house boilies, BioSpice. That combination worked for me really well a few weeks ago when I was fishing Cherry Springs, so I'm hoping it's going to work on here. Really going underneath the jetty here. Come out. Happy days! 5:45, first evening, and the left hand rod has gone flying off. With a very happy and fit 15-pounder. Lovely start to the session. Right, I'm going to slip her back, get the rod back. Now the next bit you should have seen when I was fishing Cherry Springs a few weeks ago, but that never happened for a couple of reasons, and I'll tell you after this. A number of waters these days are banning the use of plastic baits because of the fear of crack-offs and leaving live rigs in the water, obviously endangering the fish, but also endangering wildlife. Now they've got such a ban on Cherry Lake, so I thought I'd give these Cornz by Tails Up baits a try. Now they're a sweetened, unflavoured pop-up representation of a piece of corn, which obviously you can add your own flavours to. Now the manufacturers say they're plastic free and non-toxic to the environment, and they're a perfect replica of a piece of corn that you might find in a tin. They come in two sizes, the small ones which I've got and a larger version, and then they come in three colours, the yellow, pink and white. Now the small size which I'm using as a topper for wafters and bottom baits, but they can also be used stacked up on various rigs. Now the manufacturers say that two of the larger ones can be used to pop up a Ronnie rig or indeed your hinge stiff rig for 24 hours. Now I've tack tested the smaller version for 24 hours and they're coming out perfect with no degradation in their integrity at all after that period of time. Now the reason you didn't see it the other week when I was at Cherry Spring was twofold. Firstly, the house can opener wouldn't open my can of industrial sized corn, which isn't insurmountable. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. But the main reason was I've left the corns at home, so I couldn't do it anyway. But I did remember them this time, so if I do catch on them, I'll let you know. But they're a great representation of a piece of corn. Whether it's natural, I don't know, but they compare favourably well with the plastic stuff that we're quite happy to use on a regular basis. They are available in pots like this for $4.99, or if you don't want to pay for a pot and just want them in a refill pack, you can have them for $4.49. As I say, they're available in the yellow, the pink and the white. Now the small size and the large size, both the same cost. I've only got the small size to test out on this trip. They're not the cheapest ones out there. There are various other manufacturers around. What I did like about these ones, they are unflavoured. They're sweetened but unflavoured, so you can add your own flavours. So I haven't compared them to anything else, but they do last well. On a runs water, you get through a few, I would have thought, but if you can't use plastic baits, you've only got natural baits as a choice. Would I recommend? I don't know. They're quite expensive, but they might be for you. If you want a really good looking bit of corn and that's important to you, then that's fine. Maybe worth having a look at, maybe worth having a go. Would I change anything? None of them seem to do, oh, look at those seagulls. None of them seem to do orange version, so if I was going to start producing them, I'd produce an orange one that nobody else does. This is doing his level best to try and get under the platform here for some reason or other. Haven't seen it yet. Excellent, excellent. Here we go, it's about 11:30. I've taken my watch off and I've just put one of my homemade wafters with the yellow corn topper on a bit of bubbling, and that's the result. Took about, I don't know, 20 minutes I suppose for it to go off. 23 pound an ounces. What an absolute beaut. Through all the bits with that one. What a cracker. Right, I think there's more to be had out there doing the same thing. Let's pop her back. Now I'm using exactly the same COG Lead system that I used when I was fishing Cherry Spring, when I was using the bait boat. The only thing I have changed is the lead clip. I'm now using a Fox lead clip, the slick version that's got a peg in it to stop the swivel coming out, because I found with the Corda one the swivel was popping out more often than it should have done, thus the lead wasn't ejecting properly. So that's the only thing that's changed. Other than that, the rig's remaining the same. Now, because when I was fishing Cherry Spring I lost a lot of backleads because I was getting so many runs, so I thought I'd try these captive backleads. Of course, as soon as I want to buy some, there seems to be a world shortage, so I managed to get hold of some Gardner line clips, glued those to some 2-ounce flat pairs, attached them to some orange, old, very old Fox marker braid. Thankfully they don't do it anymore, because as a marker braid it was crap, but as attaching a backlead to it seems to work nicely. And at the moment it seems to be working really well. I was a bit worried about tangles and things, but all is good so far, and I'm not losing backleads. Just a quick update on the Cornz situation. This rig's been fishing a couple of foot off the margins in about 3 foot of water. My homemade wafter's been removed by crayfish, but the Cornz is still there, much like you'd expect the plastic to be. So that's a good plus. Well, we're now well into the last afternoon, and I've quite frankly been putting off trying to do an update, waiting for something to turn up. Nothing has. It was a ridiculously quiet night. When I brought a couple of the baits in this morning, which were fishing on the marginal shelf, they'd been mullered by crays. So this morning they've been out in slightly deeper water that hadn't produced anything. On one of the spots I've tried fishing a pop-up in the shallower waters. At the moment the other two are sitting in slightly deeper water. Whether I rearrange them before the light's out, I've got no idea. There's some bubbling going on, but following those around the place is a quick way to the asylum in my eyes. But there's a few fish showing, and there's a couple showing over the top of my middle rod, but as of yet nothing exciting. Anyway, going into the last night, there's always hope, isn't there? But it's cooling off a bit, it's clouding up, so the weather's good at the moment. Presumably the pressure's quite high, I haven't checked it. But yeah, I was hoping for a bit more, must be honest. Anyway, keep plugging away. That's enough of that nonsense. Well, as you can probably see, the light is fading. Coming into the last evening, the rods are out for the night. Needless to say, I've got nothing to show you for the end of the day. Hopefully there might be a postscript to this. If there is, all well and good. But other than that, because we've got to be out of here fairly early in the morning, the light level's not so good at that time, I'm going to say goodbye to you now. Thanks for your company, and I'll catch you all again soon. Cheers for now. I do love a good postscript. It's just on the witching hour of midnight. £19 and a few ounces. Happy to get a run, to be honest. Happy to get a run. I'll give you a quick shot at the other side, because I haven't put the rod back in yet. How about that? That makes me feel a bit better about myself. Right, pop her back. Give some more. Just before dawn, same rod, 19 3/4. That's making the trip slightly better, and cheering me up no end. Fantastic. Right, got a quick show on the other side, get her back, because I've got to start packing away really, unfortunately. Now it's kicked off. There you go. Thrilled to bits.